Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video I'm going to continue showing you how to solve equations that have variables on both sides. In this particular video I'm going to be showing you an equation that has variables on both sides and that has two terms on both sides. So just like the last example 3, but this time there's also fractions on both sides. So let's take a look at an example like that. So if I had space, I would just continue on where I left off, but I'm writing quite large so that you can see this well on the video. But for you, you just want to continue right underneath example 3. If you have also written quite large, like I have, you can always just attach an extra piece of paper that can open and close within your foldable. That's no problem. So continuing right underneath example number 3, here is example number 4. Okay, so here's what we've got. We've got 1 over 8n plus 5 equals 1 over 2n plus 2. Okay, so same as every question we've looked at in this section so far. First thing we're going to have to do in order to be able to get n, our variable alone, is to bring all those variable terms together. Okay, and when you have two terms on either side of the equal sign, you've got a lot of flexibility which one you'd rather move. So I would always rather take away the smaller one from the bigger one, just so I can avoid a negative integer, but it really doesn't matter. Even if you end up working with a negative integer, it's definitely not the end of the world. So a half is a lot bigger than an eighth, so I think that's the one I'm going to move over. So in order to move that, this is currently a positive 1/8 n, so I'm going to subtract 1/8 n, and that's going to be gone from there. But then of course I have to do the same thing over here, minus 1/8 n. As that is, can I subtract? Nope, I need to have common denominators for adding or subtracting fractions. So I'm going to multiply this 2 by 4 to get it to 8, and then do the same thing to the top, times by 4. So let's come down a line and write what it is that we're left with. On the left side of the equal sign, I have 5. On the right side, I now have 4 over 8n minus 1 over 8n plus 2. Okay, so I need to subtract that first. So here's what I end up with. 5 equals 4 minus 1, 3 over 8n plus 2. All right, that's looking better. Now I've just got a normal two-step equation. So step 1, cancel out the constant using addition or subtraction. So in this case it's plus 2, so the opposite would be to minus 2. Cancels to 0. Do the same thing to the other side. 5 minus 2 gives me 3. 3 is equal to 3/8 n. Okay, step 2, cancel out the numerical coefficient using opposite operations. So the opposite of multiplying by 3/8 would be to divide by 3/8. So of course I need to do the exact same thing to the other side. Divide by 3/8. Whole divided by fraction, don't like it, but I can fix it by putting my whole over 1. So now let's flip and kiss. 3 over 1, then comes our kiss, and second fraction gets flipped. On the right side, this is gone. I'm left with just a single n. So I'm getting close here. Top times top, bottom times bottom. So I need to do 3 times 8 to begin with. And I think I'll just go to the side here. 1 times 3, that equals n. Improper fraction, I don't want to leave it that way, so I need to divide it out. The nice thing though is it divides out nice and evenly. Final answer, n is equal to 8. Box it up, nice and neat. Final answer. Okay, only other thing that I'm going to do is a check. Again, keeping in mind that when I check, I am back to using regular order of operations, BEDMAS. So I'm going to copy out my equation exactly as is, except that I'm going to substitute the answer that I got for n back into any n's that I see in the equation. Everything else I am just copying straight out. Okay, so the n that's being times by 1/8, I'm now replacing with 8, and even more specifically, 8 over 1, since I know I'm working with fractions. Same thing here, replace it with 8 over 1, since I know I'm working with fractions. Here we go. Multiplication comes before addition. Multiplication comes before addition. So top times top gives me 8, bottom times bottom gives me 8. Top times top gives me 8, bottom times bottom gives me 2. Okay, these fractions, they divide out nicely. So let's just do that so that we don't have to try and make these wholes into equivalent fractions. 8 divided by 8, 1 plus 5. 8 divided by 2, 4 plus 2. 1 plus 5 is 6. 4 plus 2 is 6. Beautiful. Check. And I know for sure that my answer of 8 is correct. I'm going to separate this off just to make it nice and clear that that's my check. And that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.